So Barcelona's title odds don't seem to be significantly better or have them as favorites after the signing of Rodri, 2024 Ballon d'Or winner, who was also named the best player at this summer's World Cup. What's up, Geoff? Why are you giving me that look?
I'm looking at that and thinking Barcelona should at least be level with Bayern and Arsenal.
I'm looking at that and I'd say put your money on Barca.
Ahead of PSG.
I think it's good value. I think it's a very. I think they should be higher up on that list. I think
you're talking betting.
Yeah.
Do you think they are favourites to win ahead of PSG?
No. PSG's the favourites.
But above Real Madrid.
Manchester City is the one for me that I'm not buying that.
No, you've got to move. Barcelona left
That's
there,
got
haven't you?
pep smoke written all over, and he's not there. I'm not buying that.
Why do you guys think that these are the odds right now? It is kind of crazy. Man City's in their post-Pep era right now. Real Madrid, 2 seasons where they didn't win a major trophy. Why do you think
But it's Madrid.
Yeah.
It's you can never rule them out. I guess it's with Mourinho. Mourinho never won the Champions League with Madrid. I feel like that's the thorn in his side. I feel like not winning La Liga and back-to-back seasons, trophyless last season, he still needs to sort something out. For this very next season, I would give the edge to Barcelona over Real Madrid.
But don't forget as well, though, these are bookmakers' odds. These are to get people to bet. This is to tempt you in. So Nico's reaction there.
Tempted.
Barcelona is a good bet and is better value than PSG.
I agree. It feels like there were a lot of learning curves for Barca in that semi-final from 2 seasons ago, in that quarter-final where they lost to Atletico Madrid. This third time around, with Lamine Yamal getting even better, they've really recruited a strong, quick side. They've got speed on their side now. To do what Hansi Flick wants to do, they are either going to survive or die by the sword for a third time. And I don't know if you could say that they've died by the sword in 2 seasons where they've won La Liga in very convincing fashion. Now it's the Champions League. That's what they're going after. And they got the best player at the World Cup.
I think that sometimes we forget how significant international tournaments can be to a group that went and won something major together at the World Cup. So Spain had 8 Barcelona players. They was at the World Cup. They should have had 9. And for me, Lopez wouldn't have gotten injured. When you look at just the winning DNA that's in Barcelona right now, they have added a winner in Rodri, a serial winner. Everywhere he goes, winning follows. And so this is a massive chess piece that they've added to the chessboard.
Do you think he starts?
Come on, Jeff. There's about 5% chance.
I still can't, and Nico was right yesterday, I still can't get over what they've been able to buy him at. I understand why the fee was the level it was. But to get Rodri, it's just unbelievable.
There's something about the market and just today's transfer world. Literally, the best player at the World Cup went for half what Yan Diomande went for. Just from a surface level, it seems ridiculous that.
Is the one, when you look at that though, and we have this discussion continually, the lack of a dominant 9 there, is that a question mark on Barcelona at all?
Sure, but if Rafinha stays healthy, look at the first season that Rafinha put together. I understand that it was on the left-hand side, but he's shown that he could play in that 9 position.
You don't have to have a 9 to win things. But
look at PSG.
If you've got a bagsman who can provide 25 to 30 a season, sure going to help, isn't it?
Yeah. Looking at least at the players that they do have now heading into the new season, with the addition of Rodri, how do you at least see him coexisting with Lamine Yamal on the pitch?
Oh, he's someone that's going to push Lamine Yamal to be even better than what we've seen. Lamine Yamal is a generational talent, and he's defying the history books. I loved how he challenged Lamine at the World Cup, a player who we know has the talent. But I thought Spain's World Cup changed when Rodri went out in the media, and everyone was saying, we haven't seen the real Lamine. He's playing with so much anxiousness. And he addressed his anxiety. He says he's young. Everyone relax. This is about Spain, the national team. Lamine will get his moments. He'll have his impact, but this is about the collective. And Barcelona needs someone to be a leader. Frankie de Jong, you like the likes of Ronald Araujo, who were previous captains before this season. Okay, they're leaders by examples in some way. Maybe not Araujo, de Jong, but Rodri is a true leader. He's a presence in the locker room.
Bro, he was the best player at the World Cup. That's all. Like, not a gentleman of the sport. So well respected.
I was just thinking. I'm looking at him, I'm thinking, I've got a bit of a man crush on him.
Yeah, honestly, he's got all the qualities.
Everything about him, the way he plays, the way he speaks,
the way he
conducts
behaves.
himself.
He's not on Instagram, and you need
He's so classy.
Pure class. And I feel like with Robert Lewandowski leaving, talk about a serial winner. He won absolutely everything at the club level, including individual plaudits. I feel like he was the father in the dressing room to a lot of these young kids. And now, to a certain degree, Rodri walks in there, being the best player for Spain, who just won the World Cup, and has this down-to-earth energy.
Grounded.
That I think balances really well with this youthful spirit that sometimes is very flashy in a Lamine Yamal. And this is just like man management dressing room talk, and then it's everything that happens on the pitch, how Rodri makes everybody around him better. I'm super intrigued to see how Pedri and Rodri coexist, but then you have depth in Gavi when he comes back, and Frankie de Jong and Dani Olmo, who had an incredible World Cup. There's so many components to this that just make Barcelona a very attractive team to watch.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
And it feels like if they're going to win Champions League, it feels like it really has to be this year. Granted, we did say that about Bayern Munich last year with all the tools that they had.
I don't know if it has to be this year. Again, this whole like you have to win the Champions League is a crazy expectation to set on any team.
But it's Barcelona's expectation.
Okay,
though.
hold up.
It's Barcelona's.
That's different. It's different. The expectation that they have of the club is win Champions League for sure. That was their expectation since 2015, right? Since they last won it. I'm talking about as media. Barca has to win the Champions League. Listen, if Barca gets to a final and competes, but since they haven't won it from 2015, I think I said it a couple days ago. If Barca does not win the Champions League with Rodri, I do think it'll be seen as a failure.
Absolutely.
At any point.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be now. You have to win the Champions League. But the next season, and the season after that, it's 2015 since Barca last won the Champions League. And now you got the best player from your country at the World Cup. It has to give at one point for Barcelona, and if not, I do think it's a failure.
So do you think adding the best midfielder at the World Cup, best midfield
player,
what did I say?
Midfielder.
Best player in general, does that leads me into the midfield, make Barcelona's midfield the best in the world, especially when we're looking specifically at Champions League? Or is there another team, another midfield that you think will really go up against them?
Ruiz, Vitinha, and Neves are the three names I'll give you. Because I just think it's almost like when you say, is Barcelona the best midfield in the world? They are amongst the best, but to definitively say they are the best is a very subjective thing. Look, that is a mouth-watering battle, and also the depth on both sides. Really, a rotation of any of those, you're not going to substantially weaken. If you take the two that are facing each other, then it's unbelievable. But you look at the PSG side, Neves can do a bit of everything. He can do both sides of the game. He can shut it down, he can also get forwards. Vitinha, I'm sorry, the show's not long enough for me to list all of the things that he can do, because it's his dynamism. He sets the press, doesn't he, Mikey? But he's also a creator. I have one worry about Fabian Ruiz. I have one worry about him. I just have concerns injury-wise. I think he could end up with the same injury that Ruud Gullit talks about that he used to get a lot. He used to get really bad ribs from lifting trophies all the time. He used to get really bad side strains. I mean, what he's won in the last couple of years is utterly ridiculous. Euros,
2 Champions League,
World
Cup.
Cups, 2 Champions Leagues. He's going to have sore ribs, seriously.
I feel like he's in 20 years' time, he's going to be such an underrated name that we're going to talk about when he shouldn't be an underrated name. I feel like he's...
No, he's under the radar.
Completely.
So when you were saying he was the best player at the World Cup, Rodri, I'm thinking, well, bear in mind what this fella has done.
I mean...
Well, he didn't even start.
He sat Pedri to play Fabian Ruiz.
He was on the bench to start the World Cup, and he willed his way in.
But when you look at the midfield, and I was trying to name those in a specific order, how I think of them, it's about how they work as a three together.
Right. PSG's the best one in the world, I think.
Do they differ? That okay. So if we put that, can we have that graphic back up again? Who in that three is closest to the Rodri role?
Vitinha. Easy, Vitinha.
Yeah, but Vitinha also, he gets further forward than Rodri in terms of pressing, doesn't he?
To break it down from a tactical standpoint, each of these midfields have a controller. They have someone who is going to get in both boxes, and they have someone who adds a bit of quality. PSG, that player that has the creative quality and the creative component as well is Vitinha. It's very unique to have your deep-lying playmaker who will bomb forward as well, get in the box and set up goals.
Rodri doesn't go as far forward as Vitinha.
Rodri does not do that, right? So Rodri will be the anchor to the Barcelona midfield, and then you'd have Pedri who will sit alongside him. That's a tactical wrinkle that Hansi Flick has done with Pedri at Barcelona, and it's really given Pedri a new lease on life to see the game in a new way.
Can I tell you something, though, about Rodri? With Manchester City, especially when teams sat against them in a low block, Barca's a high-press team. Barca's going to be in the offensive side of the pitch much more than the defensive side of the pitch. When Rodri manages ball possession, he creeps up to the field and he manages at the edge of the box, of opposition's box. Yes, he's clean in between the center backs to start play, but he creeps up the field and he has you right here. The way that he controls the ball in tight spaces and he moves and he dictates. He has this metronome, but it's not just about the rhythm. It's about where he takes the game.
Do you think we will see Rodri at Barcelona far more similar to Rodri of Spain than of Manchester City?
Yeah, I think that's the version we're going to see. I'm going to make a bold prediction about one player in Barcelona.
I don't think so necessarily, by the way. Hold up. I don't think so necessarily.
Why do you say that?
Because of how Barca presses so high. It's such an aggressive team.
Spain pressed high as well.
Yeah, but this is like, but when you work it week in, week out.
Yeah, and this is why
it allows you to get higher.
I think Rodri, the impact that he had, not just on the midfielders around him, but one player behind him in Pau Cubarsí, who wasn't at his best before the World Cup. There's a sense of trust that you have with a young player who was sensational at the World Cup, who his game is going to go up, and another player whose game is going to go up, who is already one of the top midfielders in the world, in La Liga. Pedri will get more goals with Rodri in the team. He doesn't have to get back and get on the ball as much. He's going to be more advanced in the box, and I think we're going to see the Pedri that we saw from 2 seasons ago, who is getting more goals to his name, getting more assists in the game. And Hansi Flick, that is something that he demanded of him in his first season. So it's a slam dunk of a signing.
Well done, guys. Great names, but Guimaraes, Odegaard and Rice will walk all over him.
Thanks for watching this video from Morning Footy. For all news and insights regarding leagues around the world like EFL, Serie A, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount+.